It's Monday, January 30th, 2023. Lots to talk about today. Markets closed earlier. Dow Jones was down 260 points today. NASDAQ down 228. Bitcoin down over 1,000. So here we go. We're back to more volatility. Now, I'm sure markets are going to wait and see what the Fed is going to do on Wednesday. I believe my forecast is 25 basis point rate hike, although I would not be shocked, nor would I be surprised if we saw a 50 basis point rate hike on Wednesday. Not likely, but it is possible. And if the Fed had any guts whatsoever, it would raise 50 basis points on Wednesday, and it would send these markets tumbling. It would send a message to the markets that they are going to continue to stay on course. But more than likely, it will be 25 basis points because they don't want to rattle these markets too much. But as we continue this video today, I want to say this to all of you. Judgment Day is coming. And we all need to be preparing for Judgment Day. You know, I was just thinking a little bit today, and I jotted down some notes. We live in a country that has printed so much money out of thin air, trillions upon trillions of dollars out of thin air. We're a country that has abused the world reserve currency, the US dollar. We have now weaponized it. A country that has manipulated markets like gold and silver. It's manipulated economies. Think about how many banks have been sued and lost, fined billions of dollars for manipulating markets, for manipulating economies. And it's a drop in the bucket to them. But we are watching the manipulation of these markets continue. And how long can it continue for? I don't think it's got much longer, ladies and gentlemen. They are about to lose control. We are a country now that is getting our nose into World War III. We're going to be the reason that starts World War III if we're not careful here. And I hope that that's avoided. This isn't to get political. I don't like war. I don't want to see people die. I hope all this is avoided. I hope that things calm down in Eastern Europe. I don't think they're going to, because it looks like we're going to continue to provoke things into a world war. We are a country of obesity and pharmaceutical addiction. Yes, we are. And look, judgment is coming for this country. We are morally and financially bankrupt, ladies and gentlemen, yet we are spending like drunken sailors. We're a country of entitlement where we just think that we deserve everything. We're a country where we continue to buy dumb stuff with money we do not have. And we use credit cards so that we can buy dumb stuff we don't even need, so that we become bigger debt slaves than we already are. We're a country that is completely bankrupt, again, morally and financially. Soon, we are going to find out, very soon, who has the ability to survive this. Judgment Day, no doubt, is coming to America. Who is going to survive the judgment? We're going to find out. We're going to find out who's real, who's walking the walk, who's put their money where their mouth is, who's really prepared. You know, it's easy to come out, make these videos and just talk and tell you, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should buy this, you know, you should support this sponsor, you should buy this and that. It's easy to do that. Much more difficult to actually walk the walk. You know, I'm a huge proponent that you own gold and silver, not financial advice. It's what I'm doing. It's what my family does, what my friends do. To me, I sit down and go, where else do you put cash right now? Where do you put this fiat monopoly money? Do you put it in this manipulated stock market that we all know is going to collapse? Or do you put it in the future? And that is gold and silver. Do you go back to simplicity? And do you go to something that's been around 5,000 years, yet is going to be the future? That is going to play an important role here, in my opinion. I don't see many other places financially where to put money right now that is safe, other than the two most undervalued assets on Earth, and that's gold and silver. But I have taken a lot of my money, money that I've earned myself, and I've made the sacrifice, and I've bought the gold, I've bought the silver, I've bought the food, I've bought the security. And I've had to sacrifice a lot to do that. And I know it's not easy. And you look at buying an ounce of gold today, over $2,000 an ounce if you want the physical ounce. It's hard to go, oh my gosh, $2,000 plus for that little yellow coin. But that little yellow coin may save your life. It may allow you to prosper. It may give you more purchasing power than you can even think. That's my opinion. There's a lot of people out here that tell us every day about how bad things are and you know why we should prepare and we should continue to buy this. Are they buying the things they're selling? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to continue buying gold and silver, especially gold, until I no longer can. That's a promise. I totally and truly believe that every one of you should own hard assets like gold and silver, especially gold. If you can't buy gold, then buy some silver. There's no excuse. Silver is so cheap. Even gold is cheap. And I know people are going to go, oh, gold's cheap. It's over $2,000 for a physical ounce. Well, when you look back when it's $3,000 an ounce, then you'll realize that it was cheap. When it goes to $5,000 an ounce, you're going to go, wow, I should have bought some. So if you have the means, if you have some cash laying around that is being completely eaten up by inflation, maybe it's time to maybe buy a little bit and diversify. I do believe you should have cash, yet I believe you better have gold also. You better have some silver also. So we're going to find out who's walking the walk, who just talked and you know, just wanted people to, you know, buy in to the fear so that they could sell you stuff, or the people who really walked the walk and bought the things they told you should be buying. I would never tell any one of you to do something I don't do. This morning, jiu-jitsu at 10 a.m. This weekend, 2 days, Saturday, Sunday at the gym. Tomorrow, I'll be ordering an ounce of gold from SD Bullion. If you need to order an ounce of gold or silver or whatever, link down below SD Bullion. I'm going to continue to put canned food away. I already have emergency food. I've spent thousands of dollars on emergency food, thousands of dollars in canned food. I'm trying to do the best I can to walk the walk, and I still don't feel it's enough. But I know there's people out there that don't walk the walk, that lie every day. Yet, they do nothing themselves to prepare for what they say is coming. And I think that that's because they don't really believe what they're saying. I truly do believe we're heading into serious times here. And this is why I get out to the range. This is why I go out do jiu-jitsu. This is why I go to the gym. This is why I buy emergency food. This is why I buy gold. This is why I buy silver. This is why I put cash away. This is why I'm leaving the state of California and buying a ranch. So I'm doing everything in my power to get ready for what is coming, because I believe what is coming, and I believe that what is coming is going to be very catastrophic. And I know not everybody can move to a ranch or a farm, but do whatever you can. If you live in an 800 square foot apartment, condo, studio, do whatever you can. Stack that place with food, stack it with water, have security, get some training, be walking close to God. First article I want to share with you comes from Fox Business. The U.S. consumer is starting to freak out. Flush savings, it says, flush savings accounts and cheap credit that helped keep American spending is disappearing. Yes, all that money is now disappearing. Jamie Dimon said that the consumer will be broke this summer. I think the consumer is already broke. This is why we're seeing record credit card debt, because the consumer has already gone through the savings. The consumer now is going to tap out their credit cards. The engine of the U.S. economy, consumer spending, is now starting to sputter. Remember, 70% of this economy is based on consumer spending. Back in 2020, it says, remember, the consumer was sitting at home buying Peloton bicycles, big screen TVs, computers, and video games. Wow, we've come a long way in just a couple years. Inflation and job losses are going to be catastrophic. And this is going to make things very, very uncomfortable for people. This is why I say right now, you need to be getting uncomfortable. You need to be doing things that are uncomfortable to prepare for what is coming. So yes, it might be taking that extra cash and going to the store and buying food, taking that extra cash, buying some hard assets. Instead of going out to dinner every weekend, instead of going to Vegas, 2 or 3 times a year, instead of going to Hawaii, maybe it's time to make the sacrifice, get a little uncomfortable, feel a little bit of the pain, and start putting away for this tsunami. Banks brace for more consumers to fall behind on their loans. Also on Fox Business, regional lenders and banks with big credit card businesses continue to profit from borrowers who ran up credit card balances at higher interest rates in the fourth quarter. But many tightened up the lending standards and set aside more money to cover potential loan losses. Signs they don't expect the good times to last. And when they get bad enough, what the banks are going to do? They're going to say, well, your $10,000 line of credit on that credit card is going to be $5,000, or it's going to be $2,500. Your $5,000 line of credit is going to be $1,500. Or maybe they'll just shut your credit cards off altogether. Capital One set aside $1 billion. That's a 33% increase. And we have American Express. They increased their reserves by 25% to $500 million. So what do they know that the average person does not know? They're getting prepared for this storm, ladies and gentlemen. The question is, are you preparing for this storm? They're gonna be okay. The question is, are you going to be okay? Phillips cut 6,000 more jobs to improve profitability. This is now a total cut of 10,000 jobs since October. So they're going to continue to cut jobs across all sectors because it's all about the bottom line. It's all about being profitable. I was talking to somebody yesterday at the gym, and he made a really, really good point. Just a couple of years ago, you remember when they told the coal miners, learn how to code. You coal miners need to learn how to code. Now the coders are losing their jobs. So make sure you know how to do something, ladies and gentlemen. Have a skill set. Don't just rely on coding. Don't just rely on just being one-dimensional. Have multiple dimensional things you can do. Be multi-dimensional. Know how to do multiple things. So if one door closes, you can go over here and do something else. Yeah, maybe it's 22 hours a week, but maybe you can work 20 hours over there, 20 hours over here. Bloomberg, even on $100,000, more Americans living paycheck to paycheck. It says here 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Now, this totally contradicts everything I'm watching on the television. They're telling me the consumer is strong, they're flush with cash, they're spending, the real estate market is turning around, everything's going to be okay. We're going to have a soft landing, we're going to have a rolling recession, a soft landing recession, no recession. I don't know how you don't have a depression with 64%, and I've seen even higher numbers than this, but 64% living paycheck to paycheck. That's 166 million people. 8 million people make $100,000 per year. Half of those people are living paycheck to paycheck. I know people will write and go, well, $100,000 a year, they're living beyond their means. Well, if you're making $100,000 a few years ago, you were fine. You were fine. The problem is, over the last couple of years, inflation, fuel costs, insurance, auto, medical, all this has gone up. It has skyrocketed. So $100,000 is no longer what $100,000 was 3 or 4 years ago. So people who once had a nice middle-class lifestyle at $100,000, they've been dragged down. Many of these people may not be overspending. Some of them may be living beyond their means. Many of them may not be living beyond their means. They're just being dragged down by the high cost of everything that they once were paying for has now maybe gone up 25%, 50%, 100%. And now it's dragged their standard of living down. $100,000, you could live very well a few years ago on $100,000. Now, not so good. And it's shocking to think that. But when you look at the cost of medical insurance, the cost of auto insurance, the cost of food, the cost of putting gasoline in your car, it just goes on and on and on. Everything is continuing to go up. Americans delay retirement, looking to gig work to make ends meet. This also on Fox Business. Look, they're going to have you working till you're dead. They're going to have you work until you're 90 years old. Most people in this country have absolutely no money saved up. They don't even have $400 saved up, let alone retirement money. This is going to end extremely bad for millions of people who are not prepared to retire. So they're not going to be able to retire. They're going to have to work to feed themselves. While inflation continues to go up, the cost of living is going to go up. People will be working for a very, very long time. And heaven forbid that people who are reliant on their pensions when they do retire, I hope your pensions are there for you. I think many people are going to get a haircut where your pension is going to pay you 50% of what they promised you. Maybe they'll pay you 25% of what they promised you. And you'll be left on your own. You're going to have to make up the difference in order to survive. So, you might be 75 years old. You're going to have to go, waiter or waitress or bartend or make coffees. Maybe at 85 years old, you're going to have to go work at Starbucks or Walmart. This is what is happening now in this new world economy. Has the housing market bottomed? The surprising result from a little market indicator. This on the Hedge today, I'll just paraphrase a little bit in this article. It says, Redfin points to mortgage applications, which are up 28% from early November as the 30-year fixed mortgage rate has dropped to 6.15%. That's the great news, even though that's double what it was a little over a year ago. Now Redfin, in my opinion, wouldn't be biased at all. I mean, they just laid off 13% of their employees, right? So there'd be no bias there at all. You look back in the day, and the standard was you can buy a house 3 times what you make. So if you make $100,000 a year, you can afford a $300,000 house. You make $200,000 a year, you can afford a $600,000 house. We have people out here in California who make $100,000 a year, and they are living in homes that are over $1 million, 10x from their income. How in the world are they doing this? How long does this last? A lot of people here in California, 50% of their income is going to a mortgage payment. These people are on borrowed time. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Judgment Day is coming, and we're going to find out who's real and who's not, who's living way beyond their means and who's not. A lot of people are going to get absolutely wiped out here. And let's not forget, we have a savings rate of 2.2%. How does a housing market survive when you have a national savings rate of 2.2%? So for every $100 you make after you pay your taxes, your bills, your expenses, you have a whopping $2.20 left to save. You're gonna have to save for many, many years in order to buy a house. That's for sure. Recession is on its way. Dallas Fed shows factory activity slumps for 9th straight month. This is the longest streak since 2016. So the news does not look good, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know what these markets are going to do this week. I could care less, but I'll tell you what the economy is going to do this week. It's going to continue to plunge. Used car boom is coming to an abrupt end. This was an interesting article today. Party is over. The used car market a year ago was rocking. Now it's beginning to suffer a brutal hangover. Used car values fell 14% in 2022 and continue to fall right now. We look at Carvana. They reported quarterly losses of more than $500 million and laid off 4,000 employees. CarMax, their sales plunged 21% in November. Net income tumbled 86%. So we are going to see a very interesting time here in America where we're going to see inflation and deflation play out at the same time. Food prices are going to continue to rocket up. Energy is going to go up. Gasoline prices, I think you're going to see $100 plus barrel oil this summer, yet used car prices coming down. We see new car prices coming down also. We're going to see home prices plunge. So we're going to see certain items come down, and we're going to see certain things go up. I'm sure services will go up, and again, energy costs, food, going to go up, things of that nature. But I do believe houses are going to continue to come down. Auto prices going to continue to come down. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. And I never thought that we would see this country in such turmoil. But here we are, and it's not going to get fixed anytime soon. It's not going to go away. We're not going back to any type of normal. So you really need to have a plan right now, ladies and gentlemen. You need to get ready because the judgment day is coming. It has begun. And this thing's going to get brutal. It's going to get chaotic. It's going to be epic. It's going to be biblical. It's going to be all that, all tied up in one. And we're going to watch history play out here. And I truly do believe we're going to see big trouble with competition to the US dollar, which is going to be more problems for the average person's standard of living, their purchasing power. We are going to continue to send money all over the world. They are spending money so fast, it will make your head spin. So while the Fed raises a whopping 25 basis points, the system is going to continue to outspend it. And we are going to continue to print money out of thin air, continue to borrow, continue to tax. It's going to get very hard and difficult, ladies and gentlemen, for most people to survive this. I don't care how well prepared you are. We are going to really have major obstacles ahead. So walk close to God, say your prayers, and prepare the best that you can. Talk to all of you very, very soon.